Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weaves here, and this is what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Sung Jin-Woo part, well, finale, not part, part. But anyways, now last time we left off with Naruto actually going on the 2.5 year training. During this time, Naruto would actually be training with Jiraiya in Sage mode, and be training in many other things. For example, the Master Rasengan and the Rasen Shuriken had to throw and everything, and other types of Rasengans. Also, Naruto would be training more physically as well, as he thought that maybe he should train even harder, and he keeps doing his daily, you know, missions or daily quests, always getting dungeons to actually raid at night. Of course, when he's meant to be sleeping, he does dungeons as clearly. It's a good way to go sleep. Remember, time flows differently in the real world. A minute is like 4 hours in the dungeon world, and anyways, now Naruto would pretty much annihilate many dungeons within an hour, and pretty much be exhausted after that and go to sleep instantly. So he wouldn't really lose any sleep over the 4 years. No, 4 years. What? Over the hint to the next wave, maybe. But over the 2 years and a half. And anyways, now of course we would see Naruto pretty much going through this kind of training every single day for 2.5 years, and Sage Mode would be mastered by Naruto quite easily. Same as Jiraiya. After actually getting motivated by Naruto, he's actually trained a lot harder, and together they've actually been doing working in Jiraiya's little spy network, and Naruto has gained some essential skills for a stealth ninja and a infiltration ninja, and clearly he has gotten much stronger. He'd be Kage level by now, and people don't know that Naruto is actually much stronger than what he well tends to show. He only shows a little bit of his power, but let's be honest, Naruto is much stronger than he seems like now. This would be mostly because of the training that he went through with well, not the training, but because of his Shadow Monarch abilities and everything. And now, of course, we would go on to pretty much see Naruto, uh, well, return to the Leaf Village and do the bell test again, as per normal. Of course, easily passed, even easier than in the original. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto would pretty much, well, decimate Kakashi with ease as well, because Kakashi is an easy fight for Naruto at this point. But Kakashi didn't use his Mangekyo Sharingan, which would have made it a lot harder for Naruto. And just saying, Kakashi has trained a lot during these 2 years and a half as well. Anyways, now we would go on to straight on to the next day, which Naruto would find out about the Akatsuki capturing Gaara, which would piss him off. He's like, wow, I just come back. These men go do this. Nah, blood. Anyways, Naruto, of course, wasn't gonna have it. Gaara is his friend, and so he heads out with Team 7 here, and pretty much gets to the Sand Village pretty quickly. In fact, they would actually take a half a day less, but still that wouldn't really matter. Gaara would still be dead by the time that they arrived. After Gaara, well, not Sakura created an antidote with Chio, and now, of course, now Naruto and Naruto was pissed off first of all that Gaara's dead, and really he wasn't going to have it, and so he chased down uh, Deidara, who was actually running away with Gaara's body, and this was the catalyst for Naruto to actually unleash some of the Naruto's chakra. The Naruto has been waiting for this moment forever. However, as soon as he does, Naruto is easily able to keep up with what the Naruto is trying to do, and so as he's actually traveling with Kakashi to catch up to Deidara, he actually goes into his mind literally instantly without even having to well actually he didn't have to meditate or anything. Instantaneously, he's in his mind. It was like, listen, this is not the time. Clearly, I am busy, and I am not going to get, sidetracked with your shenanigans. So get out. Pretty much, he tells the Nantos to stay put. Right now is not the time for him to try to, interfere. And if he does, he will make sure that the Nantos pays. That's what literally Naruto says. The Nantos then stares at Naruto and says, "You dare talk to me like that? Do you really think you scare me, child?" As he says that, of course, he goes on to, well, smash the gate in front of Naruto. Was that, Sai, how dare you? I'm going to kill you. But then he realized that maybe Sai has his own motives. Like, he might have a reason. Maybe Orochimaru has taken someone away from him as well. He didn't want to jump to conclusions, so he did not. Now, of course, Naruto would then actually, well, Naruto and Team 7 would actually arrive into the hideout and they would start searching around. Naruto tries to use his sensory abilities, but he could not sense Sasuke for some reason, and that was because of the anti-sensory tags that Orochimaru has put around the whole entire hideout as a precaution to Jiraiya or someone who might find this hideout. Of course, he believes that it's a way to hidden, but it was just for situations like this. Orochimaru is always very careful when he's planning something, and clearly he was careful enough to actually prevent Naruto from finding where Sasuke was instantly, as Naruto would have actually done it because of his sage mode and everything. And anyways now, of course, Naruto would actually meet Sasuke, as Sasuke would pretty much destroy the hideout because Sai tried to kill him. But anyways, now, of course, Naruto would look at Sai and say what happened, and Sai would go on to tell him that he was given the orders to kill Sasuke, the rogue ninja, by Danzo. And Naruto says, "Listen, you don't have any right to kill him. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just taken away from the right path. Everyone deserves a second chance, right?" Of course, Sai was a bit changed by this, as he never really got a second chance in life, and maybe this might be his chance, but he didn't want to ponder on it too much, and he tried to go straight for the attack. But Naruto then, pretty much asserts dominance by looking at Sai and using his Emperor's presence on Sai, and here he can actually use it a lot more. And the Emperor's presence is just a ton of bloodlust from Naruto coming, but coming from Naruto, not from Naruto coming. But anyways, now it's like homecoming. Anyways, now, of course, Naruto would go on to tell him, "Listen, you don't move an inch, and you just watch." Sasuke wasn't afraid of Naruto anymore, as Naruto looks at him, turning pretty much turning off the Emperor's presence, and Sasuke would actually jump down to say hello to Naruto. He goes into his head. However, once he actually goes into Naruto's head, he's met by nothing, nothing at all. And then, out of nowhere, an eye opened up, a red, massive eye, and it was the Nantos, still blinded by the shadows, as Naruto decided to punish him a little bit for nearly getting, well, for interfering with his mission. But anyways, Naruto would come out of nowhere through the shadows, as he would appear literally from nowhere, and he would click his fingers until, well, pretty much let the Nantos free, as he would try to, well, break through the cage. Of course, he cannot. The Nantos rules, as Naruto says, "Should we go somewhere more quiet, Sasuke? You want to talk to me, right?" As he says that, Sasuke then turns on his Sharingan and says, "Naruto, you're way too weak to fight me now. Look, I'm already in your mind." And Naruto says, "Are you sure about that? You're in my mind, so technically I can do anything, right?" Sasuke then starts laughing maniacally, saying, "Like you can do anything against me now, Naruto," as he pretty much uses Kimimura's abilities to create bones, but he could not. He was like, "What's going on?" And Naruto says, "This is my mind. Get out." As he says that, he pretty much uses an advanced version of Konkurosaki. I'm joking. An advanced version of his Emperor's presence to kick Sasuke out of his mind. Sasuke was sweating and he was like, "What the hell? What was that?" It was as if I was in the presence of death itself. As he looks at Naruto for a second, he saw Sung Jinwoo and both Sung Jinwoo and the shadow monarch that Sang Jinwoo would have before Sang Jinwoo, and then he saw Naruto looking at him with blank eyes. However, then he gains back his composure and jumps backwards and says, Naruto, just how strong are you now? Are you still stronger than me? Naruto then says, wanna find out. As he says that, he pretty much is ready for battle, but Orochimaru says, Sasuke, no, I just gave you that new ability. You can't use it properly yet. It's only been a year. You may have bone release, but that new one is way too dangerous. It takes too much chakra, and clearly you're not refined in it yet. Maybe 1 or 2 more weeks and you can go kill your brother and then come for Naruto's head if you want. As he says that, Sasuke then, well, pretty much kisses his teeth and tells him, alright then. As he says that, he looks at Naruto and says the next time they fight, he'll use all his powers. And just as a demonstration of what he can do, he pretty much, no hand signs, uses wood release to actually try to impale Naruto. However, Naruto then reacts fast enough and is like, if you're going to show off, I will too. And as the spikes were about to, impale Naruto, and Sasuke didn't want to impale Naruto, he knew that Naruto would dodge. However, Naruto was like, do you really think that will work? As he said that, pretty much the spikes were frozen in place, as they were pretty much frozen literally. And this ability was given by Haku. Remember, the Haku is still a shadow, and clearly is quite good friends with Naruto. Naruto is the shadows, the pretty much Igris, Beru are the ones. Igris is now a general rank by now, by the way. Igris and Beru would like to, they would never dare to talk to Song Jinwoo, or not Song Jinwoo, but to Naruto informally. However, Zabuza and Haku don't really care. They got permission, and Naruto wants Igris and Berry to talk to him normally. Of course, the two are starting to, but still, they cannot do it, as they have too much respect for Naruto. They admire him too much. But eventually, they will get to that point when Naruto's like, "Hey, listen, I will release you. Listen, just call me Naruto." And anyways, now Naruto is going to pretty much use that excuse to make them start calling him Naruto, be more formal with him, as he wants to be more like friends than actual master and you know, uh, soldier. I wouldn't say slave, by anyways now, because clearly that shit ain't right. Anyways, they're mostly like king and soldier, but anyways, of course, that's not how Naruto sees it. Naruto sees it as just a bunch of mates. And anyways, now Sasuke was pretty angry, and pretty much he says, "Whatever, I'll destroy you." As he says that, he disappears. And anyways, now Naruto looks back and says, "Maybe I was a bit too harsh." And Sakura's like, "No, we need to get him. We need to go after him." As she tries to go, Naruto pretty much grips onto her arm and says, "No, Sakura, there's no point. If you go alone, you'll just get killed. Sasuke doesn't have that compassion. Now, we have to return to Relief Village. There's no time for this." I have a bad feeling for some reason. Sakura for a second there thought that Naruto has given up on Sasuke, but then Naruto looks at, once she actually inquires about it, Naruto looks back at her and saying, "Do you really think I'd ever give up on Sasuke? What do you think I've been doing all this time? I've been training to return, to bring him back, as I promised." And anyways, now, of course, Sakura was relieved that Naruto wasn't done with Sasuke, and alright, I thought you were done. But anyways, once they returned, Naruto already had the Rasen Shuriken, so he would actually be alerted of Team 10 being in danger of a Akatsuki attack. Now, of course, Naruto wasn't going to allow his friends to die, and it was like, yeah, allow that. There's still hope, and Naruto would go ahead instead of those slow ass support ninjas that were meant to go and go Asuma killed. And here Naruto would actually use a new technique that he's learned during the 2.5 year training. He keeps throwing kunais in the air and then teleporting to it. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, but anyways, now of course he keeps doing it until he reaches an area, the area that they're fighting, and he sees Asuma about to get cut by the scythe. But as he was about to do it, Naruto's like, no, and pretty much he asserts dominance by using Emperor's presence, but the advanced version that he used on Sasuke, and everyone was put to their knees. Ino was literally, well, struggling to breathe. So was Choji, but Shikamaru looks up and he's like, "Is that Naruto?" As he says that, Naruto actually, pretty much throws a kunai to the floor next to, Asuma, and Asuma sees Naruto, teleport to it. For a second, he thought it was Minato, but then he saw Naruto. He smiles as he knows Naruto's real identity, and it says, Master Jiraiya must have done really good work with you. And pretty much Naruto's like, yes. As he says that, he kicks Hidan away, who was not scared. Same as Kakazu. They were, they were sweating a bit, of course, same as Sasuke, but they weren't particularly afraid yet, as they haven't seen the full extent of Naruto's abilities and powers. And then you hear now. Anyways, now, of course, Team 10 would, Naruto would pretty much tell him that he has a hunch that they should not be cut by that scythe. So Shikamaru would be the most valuable fighter there, and he told Shikamaru to be careful of that guy. Clearly, he has some ability to do something and to not. Literally, he makes sure to emphasize on the not get hit by that side. But anyways, now, of course, Shikamaru would take this like, oh, okay, I won't get cut by the scythe, but I still don't understand what's so bad about it. It's just a little cut. Naruto then just says that he should just listen to him. It'll probably save their lives. But anyways, now, as Shikamaru says, all right then, and pretty much Team 10 would take on Hidan, not Hidan, Hidan, yeah, Hidan, and Naruto would take on Kakazu. Kakazu would get absolutely demolished. Literally, Naruto would have the upper hand throughout the fight, and he would actually use his his not wood release, sorry, and no, he doesn't have it yet. Yet, I'm joking. He doesn't have it as a whole, but anyways, he uses his ice release to pretty much freeze the other four hearts, and just with his bloodlust, the ice breaks, as the ice itself could not withstand Naruto's bloodlust, and pretty much his bloodlust actually increased over time by doing dungeons, as he needed to finish them quickly as fast as possible, so he could do more. And anywho now Naruto would essentially the hell out of Kakuzu and kill him, and everyone would see it as pretty much they've defeated Hidan, and Team 7 would have arrived to just see that. And anywho, they would ask about what kind of technique that was, and Naruto said that it was pretty much a improved version of the Rasengan. Anywho, once Naruto returns, he hears about Orochimaru being killed by Sasuke, and Naruto realizes that Sasuke has changed quite a bit. But now, of course, we would see Naruto still going after Sasuke, as he heard that he's going to be somewhere with the whole of the Rookie Nine or the whole class. And then now they couldn't find him, but still Sasuke goes on to pretty much fight not Orochimaru, but Itachi. Itachi and Sasuke would fight on. The fight would begin with the Taijutsu fight and then into a little bit of a Genjutsu fight, and clearly Sasuke was losing from the get-go, as he wasn't really using his wood release yet, and as soon as he starts using his wood release, the fight turns around pretty quickly. Sasuke would have the upper hand instantaneously, and clearly Naruto, not Naruto, but Sasuke would have the upper hand. But as soon as he wants to use the Kirin to pretty much end the fight, Itachi shows his true powers, as he was holding back immensely. Itachi, even if Sasuke had the wood release, it was going to be pretty easy for him to it was going to be easy for him to actually fight Sasuke, as he could have. First of all, he let Sasuke have his infinite Tsukuyomi, not infinite Tsukuyomi, but Tsukuyomi. He could have used the Amaterasu, and also he could have used the Susanoo to pretty much seal him away. However, he did not want to, as it's Itachi we're talking about here. And after that, Sasuke would be taken in by Obito, and he would be told the truth, and he would unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, making him a lot more overpowered. Now, Jiraiya would have still went to fight Pain, but here he would have a much easier time, and he would nearly beat Pain, but he wasn't able to figure out his little trick about the 5 second thing and how there's a seventh pain. It was only Tendo Pain that was remaining, but he was able to do what? Not Tendo Pain, Tendo Pain and the King of Help path, as that is one of the most oh, well, one of the most valuable paths of pain, and so he had to escape, and he came back to tell Naruto about it, and Naruto was like, okay, I'm ready, should we go? And he's like, yeah, we should, but I need to, recover a bit. Naruto's like, we don't have much time. If he comes here, it's going to be really, it will be quite, very, not quite, very problematic. And anywho, of course, uh, Jiraiya recovers within a week, and Naruto wasn't too fussed about it. He was like, alright, calm, we should go. But as they were about to go, of course, the Pains attack the Leaf Village. This time, Pain doesn't take 2 weeks, but he takes just a 1 week, because Nagato realizes that, if Jiraiya comes back to fight him now, he'll probably be able to defeat him because he knows his tricks, and he'll probably figure out the seventh Pain little thing. And so he came to him to kill him as a surprise attack, as clearly he had the element of surprise. Jiraiya wouldn't have thought that he would be able to recover all 6 paths that quickly. So, because he doesn't know about the King of Hell path, and Nagato was actually took a bit longer. He took a week because he was actually trying to make a plan to annihilate Jiraiya's Sage Mode, because Sage Mode would be very problematic for him. And anyway, now Naruto would see this attack, and he would actually go to protect the people. And anyways, Naruto would save a lot of people, of course, because he used the shadow clones, and he would go straight into Sage Mode. Now, of course, Naruto, without Sage Mode, he was already quite strong physically, and the Toads did mention that, but that was mostly because of his daily routine. But anyways, now Naruto would pretty much destroy most of the paths of pain, as he's way stronger than Jiraiya, and Nagato did not see this coming. Naruto would figure out instantly, the cooldown thing, as clearly Pain was always trying to avoid Naruto as soon as he used an almighty push. Of course, this led to Nagato, pretty quickly using the planetary devastation, and the vicinity of the Leaf Village where the fight was going on was evacuated. But then, as soon as this happened, Naruto could see the people flying up, the people starting to fly up, and so he made clones to actually bring them back down, and told them to actually hold on to something. But Naruto couldn't stop this, and so he had to do the last thing that he could. He focused real hard and pretty much broke the system. He broke the system, so all his shadows would pretty much, since he was max level and everything, he had everything bought out. He had max coins and everything, money and everything in the system shop, everything. He was pretty much a max level player. But anyways, now he would pretty much unlock the ability to use his shadows in the real world. And anyways, now he would use his shadows to bind onto people, so the shadows would come from the ground. And anyways, now Naruto realizes what the weak point of the planetary devastation is, and he tells Jiraiya to create a Shuriken and fire it straight at the core of this jutsu. As they both do, they create pretty strong Shurikens. Jiraiya using both wind, fire, and light. Not lightning, but wind, fire, and pretty much throwing it, as Naruto uses wind, fire, lightning, and ice. So his eyes would be red, as inside the eyes would be a scorching red fire, but it was also wind release, and it disappeared with his lightning release. And anyways, as soon as they both exploded, they created a massive explosion, and Naruto's Rasen Shuriken was probably a a nine-tooth Jinchuriki, a nine-tooth Jinchuriki, a nine-tooth till Beast Bomb level. But anyways, now, of course, this would have pretty much defeated Pain, and Naruto would take out the Tendo Pain, as his cooldown was much higher. And after used the Almighty Push, once Naruto was able to blitz him with Igris and Beru, and of course Haku put him down with ice, and Zabuza was there as well. And anywho, now, of course, Zabuza and Haku pretty much would have their final potential unleashed, and Haku would be pretty much way above Igris and Beru, even Zabuza, and he would probably be nearing Bellion or even surpassing Bellion's level. But anyways, now I'd say that Bellion would be just as strong as Haku. Remember, Haku was only a 15-year-old and he was considered to be on par with Kakashi. Just imagine how strong that is. And Kakashi was like, what? How old was Kakashi? Like, what, 26? Yeah, it says around 27. I'll say 26. Give him a year off. Come on, he's quite young. And anyways, now Naruto and pretty much Naruto would be very strong, and now they would go to Nagato, and Naruto would talk no jutsu him, and tell him that he will change this Shinobi world and fix up, and pretty much tells him that he'll stop the cycle of hatred. Nagato believes in him and gives everything to Naruto, and pretty much leaves this world by actually reviving the people who, well, not reviving anyone, but actually giving Naruto his well, best wishes, and actually giving him a Rinnegan, which Naruto gladly accepts. And Beru was there to heal his eye once he actually transplanted it on the spot. And his eye, he would actually destroy it. And well, he wouldn't. Yeah, he would actually destroy it. But anyways, now, of course, the Conan would put away Yahiko and Nagato's body, and she would go try to kill Obito. Of course, that was a suicide mission. Obito using the Izanagi, I'm pretty sure, and pretty much Genjutsuing into telling him where the bodies were. I'm not sure how he really did it, but I'm pretty sure he used the Izanagi, and of course, this went on to pretty much Sasuke capturing Killer Bee, and actually for real this time, and Killer Bee being dead. And the Five Kage Summit will still happen, and this time Danzo wouldn't go, as Danzo would remain in the Leaf Village as the temporary Hokage, as clearly he was the only one fit, and he was the most fit at the time. Tsunade did not want to do it, same as Jiraiya, as he went with the Might Guy to the Five Kage Summit. Now, and Tsunade, of course, Shizune would be there just as a secretary. She wouldn't be as well. I'd say that here they take 3 ninjas, not 2. But anyways, now 3 guards. The Raikage would be pissed that the Leaf Village wasn't taking care of their rogue ninjas, and now Killer Bee's dead, and they will have to pay by either giving them their own Jinchuriki, or they would have to pay in some way. But of course, Obito arrives and says that he declares the third Great Ninja War, or the fourth Great Ninja War, upon all Shinobi, for the Nanto's Jinchuriki, as clearly that's the last one that Akatsuki needs. And pretty much, of course, Kabuto would be in as well, as he wants Sasuke, and Obito's like, yeah, 100%, I'll give you Sasuke, just revive everyone for me, come on. And anyways, now, of course, Sasuke would go to the village and actually kill Danzo, but Naruto would actually be there, and he would pretty much allow it, because he heard about Danzo, and he would actually hear how Sasuke was saying that he made him kill the whole village, his whole clan, and he realized that he must have been his brother. He must have been forced, and now he's taken out on Danzo, as clearly he's the culprit. But anyways, now he tries to destroy the village, but Sakura tries to stop him, and then Kakashi comes in to save her, and Naruto would come in to stop Sasuke, putting him down easily, even with Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan and Susanoo. Sasuke stood no chance against Naruto. Naruto could easily punch through Sasuke's ribcage, armored Susanoo, and even the ribcage of the Susanoo without even Sage Mode, and clearly, physically, Naruto was on a completely different league than Sasuke. Anyways, now, Sasuke would be taken back by Obito, and now he would get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, as Naruto would be sent at the 5 Shinobi, the 5 nations would align, and the Great Shinobi, the Shinobi Alliance would be created, as Naruto would be mastering his Naruto's abilities, or the chakra of the Naruto's. Naruto would fight the Naruto's and easily defeat it. However, after meeting his parents and everything, saying his goodbyes, as Naruto was heading out to the war, of course, he saw a portal opening up. This was a visible portal, not just to him, but everyone around. For example, Yuriko Izawa and Bellion, and the army of the Shadow Monarch arrived. We're talking about both Sung Jin-Woo's summonings that Naruto did not have already, and Bellion, the summonings of well, the real, the original Shadow Monarch. Of course, they're all Sung Jin-Woo's, but now they belong to Naruto. Of course, Naruto's so are you an enemy, or are you a foe, or are you an ally? If you're a foe, I promise you, I won't have any mercy. As he says that, because Naruto is now the official Shadow Monarch. Uh, of course, they're like, nah, we're here to help you, mate. And the other monarchs would be dead. I'd say that Naruto would have killed them, as he would do dungeons, and he would actually meet them, and he would kill them one by one. The monarchs did not play too much of a big role, as Naruto was way stronger than them. Like, just with Sage Mode, I'll say, let's be honest, Naruto's way too OP, you know what I mean? And anyways, Bellion would bow down, same as all the other thousands of shadows, and he's like, wow, goddamn. Well then, my predecessors were quite strong, I guess, in their worlds, in their, you know, in the wherever they came from, and of course, Bellion's like, yes, both former Shadow Monarchs were quite strong, and however, you, my liege, are much stronger than both of them combined. Even with us, they would stand no chance against you, even if you didn't have the Shadow Monarch abilities. You are the ultimate being. You are the strongest. Naruto laughs, saying, don't call me liege. I will release you if I have to. Call me Naruto. Like all my other shadows, as most of the Naruto shadows would be general rank and they would be speaking to Naruto. But anyways, now, informally now. Anyways, now, it was only Berry who was still a bit taken aback, same as Igris, but still, they would start talking to him normally, and they actually like it a bit more. Bellion was sweating bricks, and it's like, Naruto sama, and pretty much Naruto's like, in a click of my finger, I could release you now. Just call me Naruto. Of course, all the general ranks are like, yeah, 100%, he's Naruto. Anyways, now Naruto tells them to, know, enter his shadow, and he creates clones to go around, and pretty much each shadow would be put in every single shinobi in the alliance. So there would be around 10,000, but clearly Naruto has way more, so he puts around 10 in each. And of course, we're just going to estimate that there were 10,000. I don't actually know. I'm not going to search that up. Come on, it's just a random shinobi that, kind of side characters. Let's be honest. But anyways, now of course Naruto pretty much goes up against Itachi and Nagato, decimates the two easily, and he actually uses the gift that Itachi gave him. I don't think I mentioned this, but he still gave him the gift. And anyways, now Itachi would go to Kabuto and meet Sasuke on the way, and Sasuke would finally find out why Itachi did all of this. He truly did love him, and it's fine not to hate the village. And whatever he does, whether he destroys the village or he doesn't, he aligns with them. He will always love him, and Sasuke would pretty much want closure at this point. What does it mean to be a Hokage? So he goes to Orochimaru, blah blah blah. You know that bit, and then the war arc would begin. For real this time. Mother would clap the 5 Kage with Jiraiya included. Clap them like really hard. And Naruto would be fighting Obito. Obito would be revealed, and the Tentos would be summoned as soon as Madara arrived to the battlefield to fight Naruto. Naruto would actually be able to keep up with the two, as he has a Rinnegan. He has a Rinnegan. If you didn't forget, he has a Rinnegan, my guy. And Haku and Zabuza's summons, and Haku and Zabuza could not be revived as they were still alive in a way, but at the same time dead. Remember, it's the army of the undead, and so alive and dead at the same time, but still, you know what I mean. Now, of course, Naruto would be clapping the Tentos, literally, he's that strong, but still. Anyways, Team 7 would be reunited eventually as Minato, Hashirama, Tobirama, and Hiruzen would arrive, and Naruto would apologize to Hiruzen for not helping him all those years ago, but Hiruzen says he grew up well, and he believes that he left the village in good hands, as Naruto smiles and says, I will become Hokage one day, but Sasuke says that he will become Hokage, and he will change the world. Anyways, the war would go a bit similar, just that Naruto would be clapping people, and those little minions of the Tentos, once the Tentos was completely, binded by those deity gates, they would not do anything, as Naruto's army would easily be able to take them out. Like the dragons themselves, the three dragons would absolutely decimate them. Like, I'm being honest, they were taking on thousands at the time, you know what I mean? And Bellion was just making people like, yo, goddamn, who is that, bruv? That guy is 20 feet and he's annihilating people. Like, what one? And anyways, of course, Beru, um, you know, Beru, Igris, the dragons, everyone was doing their thing. Even Zabza and Hawk were doing bits as they were strong. And anyways, now, of course, Kakashi was doing his thing as well, fighting Obito. And once Obito returned with the hole in his heart, he became the Tendo's Jinchuriki, and Naruto and Sasuke pretty much fought together. And Naruto, having the Rinnegan as well, pretty much decimated Obito and talking Jutsu the Obito. And now Madara would get the other Rinnegan from Zetsu, as Zetsu would pretty much bring well the Obito to Madara, and Madara would pretty much summon, or take away all the other tail beasts, as the only one remaining was the Nantos. But of course they were all released, and so he became the Tento's Jinchuriki. Naruto was dead, Sasuke was killed as well, and the Shadow Army was it wasn't disappearing for some reason. That's what they were confused about. They could feel Naruto being alive, and they were continuing to encourage everyone to keep fighting, keep striving on, as Naruto, their liege, their friend, literally all of them, like their friend, is not dead. He's alive somewhere, and clearly he's going to come back. Naruto meets the Sage of Success, and the Sage of Success is like, well, I wasn't really expecting you to get a Rinnegan, but I guess I'll do this, and then I'll give you some powers, and then I'll give you some more powers. You know what I mean? Flying, true seeking orbs. Tomoyon is a Rinnegan. Like, this guy is just OP. You know what I mean, bro? And then he could turn off the Rinnegan as well. Make it into a black eye, because it was actually, Madara's. But anyways, now Naruto comes back with his Sage mode. Six path Sage mode with the Rinnegan, and his six path Sage mode, instead of the purple, instead of the orange eye with the white, the white eye with the orange pupil and the black pigment, not pigment, but the black design on it. Yeah, that it would be like Sung Jinwoo's eyes, black, then purple, then I'll see black again, just peng, you know what I mean? And anyways, now Naruto and Sasuke would decimate Madara, and then Kage would arrive, and Naruto wouldn't waste any time. He has the powers of all the nine-tailed beasts, and he uses all of them at the same time, creates some mad OP Rasengan, killing Kage on the spot, and everyone's saved. Obito returns, he gives him an eye, then gives him another one, as he gave the eye back to, Kakashi, then he gives him another one, and then heals Kakashi's eyes to make it so that he can turn it off and on the Sharingan. So he's basically an Uchiha, a BTEC one, but at the same time a real one. And yeah, I made everyone very overpowered. The series will end here, and Naruto still gets with Hinata, as clearly I don't have any other ship in this YF, but I don't mind Hinata a bit still, but still, you know what I mean? And anyways, Ducklings, you're dismissed. This was the King of Weaves. I really enjoyed making this what if, because I am a really big fan of Sung Junwoo, because I have a crush on him still to this day, and I'm so sad that solo leveling ended, and my YouTube is actually doing alright now. I mean, I'm trying to upload as much as possible. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This was the King of Weaves, and peace.